morning. Happy Tuesday. Is it a happy Tuesday? I don't know. It's a Tuesday. I don't know if it's happy for you or not. But I'm feeling pretty good. So, I mean, the skies are clear. There's a nice little bite to the air in the air this morning. It's a little chilly. So today I wanted to talk about pain and suffering. Not just pain and suffering, but where it comes from. Where the pain and suffering comes from. But before I do that, I'm going to put on some chapstick because my lips are just dry. Feels like I'm trying to talk with one of those thick rubber bands. My mouth doesn't want to move. Oh my gosh. Okay, so oh, Zachary. Okay, so pain and suffering, where does it come from? Well, in a nutshell, it comes from beliefs. Oh no, not skunk again. That's one thing about living in this city. There's always skunk somewhere. I mean, wow. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's a bad thing for my nose. Anyway, I have the air on. Great. A lot of things going on this morning. Okay, pain and suffering. They come from beliefs. Not just any beliefs, but one type of belief. And the type of belief that causes pain and suffering, all pain and suffering, is an untrue belief. That's where pain and suffering comes from. So it doesn't matter what kind of pain, what kind of suffering. To me, they're one and the same. If you're experiencing pain, then you're suffering. But people use this saying, pain and suffering. Where they're suffering because of the pain. But that pain is coming from a belief that is untrue. All of them. And I'll give some examples. So, let's see. The first example can be when someone says you're stupid. Well, that's someone's belief about you. And it could just be they're just doing it on purpose. They don't even believe it. They may believe that they are the ones that are stupid, but they're trying to make you feel stupid so that they don't seem so stupid. Either way it goes, it's an untrue belief. It's false. And the reason why people get pain from that is because it's an untrue statement. But they accept it as truth, and that is the error. Because nobody is stupid. They either have not applied themselves to learn something, or they weren't given the opportunity to learn something. But it doesn't mean that they're stupid. It just means that they don't know about something. Whatever that something is, the other person thinks that you should be knowing. So if the other person believes that you should know something in order to not be stupid, that is also an untruth. Because that causes pain. That's what it is. That is what pain and suffering comes from. Believing something that's not true. So, someone says you're short, and they believe that you should be taller. That means you accepted their belief that you should be taller, and because you're not taller, or tall, or whatever, in relation to whatever is supposed to be right, then you'll feel pain. But only because you took on that belief as truth. That's it. That is all it is. Everyone is believing something that's untrue. So, like with blacks. Blacks, some people say, blacks are monkeys. I guess that's one derogatory thing that some people say. I've heard it in my family, so I know it's said. Well, it's not true. I'm not a monkey. But if I take that on as a belief, then I'll feel pain from it. You see? It's all based on beliefs. That's it. That is it. So, in the Bible, it says something about, or something to the effect of an eye for an eye, right? Well, that's not true. That's not what love is. Because the Bible is supposed to, they say the Bible is the word of God and God is love. Well, that's not loving, so that is an untruth. Why? Because if someone hits you in the eye, it's going to cause pain. Why does it cause pain? Because that action is untrue. It's not in harmony with love. It's not in harmony with the universe. And the universe is love. And so therefore, pain is going to be a result of that. So, if someone hits you in the eye, and it hurts, and then you turn around and hit somebody in the eye, it's going to hurt them, then now you have another untrue action. Untrue meaning it's opposite of that which is love. That's it. It's really simple. It's not even complicated. Simple, simple, simple. There's no justification. There's no and, if, or buts about it. It's either it's loving or it's not. It's true or it's not. And so when you hear me say absolute truths, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about absolute love. But in order to, that's one thing about this whole love thing. I can say, well, you don't understand love. And someone will say, well, I know what love is. Well, of course they have a definition of what they think love is, and I can't challenge that because their definition for them is true. So how can you convince? You can't. You can't convince someone that they're not loving. They have to recognize it for themselves. That's difficult because everybody wants to think they have all the answers, which is, what is that for that word, nincompooperi or something? It's just nonsense. My step grandfather used to say that's a bunch of baloney. And it is. It's a bunch of baloney. Oh my gosh. All kinds of junk mixed up in there to make something that's not even healthy. Now that's baloney, right? A bunch of scraps and chemicals to make something that's unhealthy. That's a bunch of baloney. And that's what we do with our lives. We take on all this crap. We take in all these leftovers. And that's basically what a lot of these beliefs and opinions are leftovers, residuals from the whole, and people take it on here and there, making it their life. That's what beliefs are. Beliefs make up your life. And so your life, our lives, is just one big baloney. That's it. It's a bunch of baloney. Wow. So yeah, beliefs. That's my hair on. Woo. It'll get you. These beliefs will get you. I was having a chat with a friend yesterday on my way home, and it was about worth and love, or what's the difference between the two, or how are they the same? And everything that we believe, everything that we take on, really shape our lives. Whether we're told we're smart growing up, or we're told we're dumb growing up, someone who is told that they're smart, that they are capable, that they are worthy, all these things are uplifting. All these things are associated with love. It's under the umbrella of love. And those who receive this type of love or treatment, they have better lives because they are shown love. Therefore, they feel love, and love is empowering. It is very empowering. But it's not just empowering. It allows someone to be self-sustaining. And I can tell someone that they are loved and that they are worthy, but a person is going to know whether or not it's real when you tell them. They're going to know that emotionally. They're going to be able to sense it with their soul. Their mind is understanding the word, but the soul senses things. It senses the authenticity of the words that are being spoken. but sometimes they're well, we're always in tune. Like, the body always knows, but what happens is the mind is the one that is either sensitive to that or not sensitive to it. The soul is always responding to emotion. It's always responding to the person's energy that they are giving off. But the mind is what determines if it wants to acknowledge wants to acknowledge it. Excuse me. It's up to the mind whether or not it wants to acknowledge what the soul is sensing. So we can. So if the mind wants to be, if it wants to experience a good feeling, it's going to ignore anything that's indicating otherwise. That's what the mind will do. But the soul is always sensing something, and this is why we get burned in relationships, being personal or business or friendship or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. If the mind wants to believe something, it will discount any feeling that it gets from the soul. It will find justifications in order to convince itself, because the mind is always aware. It's just choosing not to focus on it. It chooses to focus on something else. It's like, okay, I don't want to realize that. So in the past, I've had, I guess I'll call them friends, even though now I don't see them as friends, but I've had acquaintances, I should say. And I thought that the acquaintances were pretty funny, and they were fun to be around. And I liked that. And since I liked that, I wanted to hone in on that. And even though I got a feeling of I can't trust them, I discarded it because I didn't want to jeopardize the good feeling of me being around that person. So I had to ignore it. And because I did that, I got burned. Because I ignored my soul telling me that something wasn't right. Now I don't want to talk to almost anybody because I already sense that these people are not on the up and up. Not that I'm rude. I'm not rude to anyone like that. I don't stop talking to someone, but I do limit my engagement. I'm what you call cordial. People want to. That's a word that people like to throw around. I'm just being nice because, one, I like being a nice guy, but that doesn't believe I have to trust the other person. That doesn't mean I have to buy into what the other person is dishing out or giving or selling or whatever. I don't have to do that. I'm simply aware of what they're capable of. So I am equipped with an internal sensing, and this is to it's supposed to let me know of any dangers, to alert me of any dangers. And so when my soul says, hey, watch out for this one, I need to pay attention. Does that make sense? I hope so. Not that I can hear your responses. I notice I say that. Does that make sense? Only because I feel like I'm having a conversation with you. So, yeah. Pain and suffering. All of it. If you're in a relationship, and I've only had 3 of them, and that was enough for me to learn some stuff about myself and other people. But if you're in a relationship and you end up being cheated on, the reason why it hurts is because you have a belief that that person loves you. And that is what's causing the pain. You have a belief. And that belief is false. And because it's a belief that's false and you bought into it, it's not true. And it's not out of love, because if it's false, it's not loving. And that's what hurts, is because you want to hold on to the idea that the person loves you. But if someone cheats on you, they don't love you. And they didn't. Not even in the beginning. They never loved you. That was it. And that's what hurts, is buying into something that's not true. And all untruth is unloving. That's what it is. That's why it hurts so much. The pain stops when you submit to the truth. When you surrender to the truth. When you let go of that unloving belief that you have, that untrue belief that you have. Because if you believe that someone loves you and you allow them to disrespect you and treat you in such a way, then that's not loving to yourself. This is why I say it's unloving. It's an unloving belief. It's not true. But as soon as you let it go, you surrender and accept the fact that they did not love you, then the unloving actions that they have taken is in alignment with your new belief. The truth. They didn't love you. So therefore, the unloving action is acceptable because you understand that they didn't love you. It's no different than someone a child who has no experience whatsoever, and they break a $2,000 vase. Well, the child does not know the value of the vase. And so you know that the child did not do it on purpose. The child is learning. And sometimes, as they're learning to walk and balance themselves, they may tip over and knock down the vase and break it. But you understand that the child is learning. The child does not know. So as soon as you accept that of the child, then the anger goes away. The pain goes away. Because now you have understanding of what? The truth. That the child is not capable of holding themselves up all the time. They're in a learning stage. So as soon as you accept that truth, the pain goes away. Now, if you're still angry at it, at the situation and at the child, then it's because you expect that child to know more than what it has been aware of. You expect more of that child. But the truth is the child doesn't have that awareness yet. And the anger comes from you believing that the child should know better. But how can the child know better? It can't. It has to learn. You have to teach it, and it takes a while to learn. So you have to let go of the belief that the child has to know more. You have to let go of the belief that the child that the child should know better. You have to let go of that belief. Are you trying to get over? I don't know what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get over? You have your signal on. I'm trying to get over too now. We're both trying to get over. So yeah, that's why pain happens. That's why it happens. Because we hold on to a belief. And if you hit the child, if you, in your anger, because you did not accept the truth of what just happened and the truth of the child, then that's going to make you angry. If you hit the child because of that, then the child is going to feel pain. And the child is going to feel like they did something wrong. But that's not true. They didn't do anything wrong. They're doing exactly what children do. Explore. Learn. That's what a child does, is try to figure things out. They're not aware of everything. They're not aware of a whole lot. And because of that, they're going to do things that are going to make other people angry, only because they have an expectation, which is a belief, that they should know better, that they should watch where they're going. All these things are untrue. They're not accountable yet, but you believe they should be. That's where pain comes from. And so at that time, the child accepts that they've done something wrong. They accept that they're not worthy of love. That's what happens. They accepted that. And that's not true. In the era of the parent, they made the child believe something that's not true. Instead of giving the child love, instead of taking precautions, I mean, come on. You had the child, right? So how come you can't take precautions? When children come, look, I don't even have kids. But when I know children are coming to my home, I move things. I move things. I have I love glass. I just love glass. Glass, whatever. I just love it. So when I know they're coming over, I move all the things that I think that they can grab a hold of that could break or hurt themselves with. That's what I do. Because I understand a child is going to want to explore and touch things and experience things. So I have to be the aware one, right? I'm the one who has already gone through that stage long, long ago, so I know. Not only have I gone through that stage, I've observed other children. So I have an awareness. Now the parent can hold me accountable because I'm aware. But the parents usually don't hold themselves accountable. They hold their children accountable. It takes some children longer to learn things than others. But if a parent has an expectation, a belief that they should learn the first time around, then they're going to get angry because that belief isn't met. But that belief is an error. Because now they're trying to dictate when and how fast they learn. All these are untrue beliefs. And as you operate from those untrue beliefs, they're going to cause pain. Your actions stem from your beliefs. Like I said with the Bible, it says an eye for an eye. Well, if you believe this is true, then if somebody hurts you, you're going to hurt them back. And you feel that it's okay to hurt them back, but this is untrue. This is untrue. And we know this. We know this. We know that when someone hurts us, we don't want to experience pain. And so why would we want to inflict pain upon another? Because it's a belief that we hold that it's okay. And that's why everyone hurts. Because they're living by a set of beliefs that are not true. And if they're not true, then they're not based in love. This is why I do not believe or support or condone or endorse this personal truth thing. There is no personal truth. There is only absolute truth. There is only one truth. There aren't many truths. Just one. And I think people get it mixed up with having an experience. Is your experience what it is? Yes. Is that experience true? Yes. But is it truth? Absolute truth. Meaning, let me explain this one a little better. What people call personal truth, well, I can't say that because many people misinterpret what this whole personal truth thing is anyway. You have your personal experience, and your personal experience is fact. That's what it is, it's fact. Meaning it did happen to you. Your experience is your experience, absolutely. But if you have experienced a painful experience, and sometimes even what you call joyful experience, but they're not really joy, pleasurable experiences, I should say, it can be done because of a false belief. So a rapist can experience pleasure as he's raping a woman, but that is only because he believes that it's okay to do that. So his pleasure is coming from a false belief. So all pleasures are not rooted in truth or love. And a friend of mine had just posted, if it doesn't feel good, it's not for you. So it's basically saying that if it feels good, then it's okay, go with it. And that's what I had presented, was like, well, a rapist thinks that having sex with a woman against her will feels good. A pedophile feels good by taking advantage and touching children. So if it feels good, should he go with it? No, because it's disharmonious with love. And that's not true. So all the pain that we have, so if someone believes that they are less than because of the color of their skin, well, the reason why it hurts them is because they have bought into that belief. And they have to let go of that belief because that's not true. If someone says that you're stupid because you're old, well, no, you're not stupid, but certain things do happen, factually, certain things do happen as we get older. And we're not as capable, but that doesn't mean we're stupid. And so we have to learn how to not accept the beliefs of others and take it on as our own. What people offer you in terms of opinions and beliefs, you don't have to accept it. We tend to take what people say about us as truth, and it's not. However, there is truth in their statement. Any unloving statement that makes you feel bad or sad, there is truth within it. And the truth is, the only reason why you accept it is because it's already within your soul. There's an emotion within your soul. So as an adult, let me tell you, it's like this. It's like a child who is considered a genius. And he's so smart, and he knows he's smart. He knows he's smarter than all the other students. He's smarter than the majority of the teachers that are attempting to teach him. And someone calls him stupid. Now, if this is something that is not within his soul, he's not going to believe that. And he's going to look at you and understand that what you're saying isn't true. And he's also going to recognize that there's something wrong with you. However, if he's a genius, meaning he's just naturally smart, he naturally gets things, he's quick, and he has an emotion within him of unworthiness, then he's going to believe your statement or the statement against him. He'll believe that he's stupid, even though he's just super smart. And he could only be smart in math. He could not understand grammar very well, but he gets math. Well, if he doesn't get that, then he may accept that belief because he's honing in on that which he doesn't feel he's great at. So you can be a mathematician and not know how to speak proper English. That's a possibility. So when someone says you're stupid, that can affect you. Because you already know that I don't speak as well as others speak. But I know my way around some decimal points. So it really depends on what it is. There's so many different things, so many different subjects within our lives that we feel great about and that we don't. So you can have someone who is a model who just knows that they're just drop dead gorgeous, but they're not great in other things. And so if you call them stupid or you're not worthy, they're not going to go to their looks because they already know that they excel in that area, but it's the other areas that they feel less than or inadequate that is going to affect them in that way. That's how you do it here in LA. Just glide on in. I mean, come on. It's like Moses opens the roads for me. Thank you, Moses. If you're there. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to look Moses up when I die. Moses, what really went down at the Red Sea? You know, there's all kind of speculation on Earth. Whatever. I digress. So yeah, that's where pain comes from. And anger comes from denied pain. So if you're angry at someone, well, you have to get rid of the pain. So if I use the vase and the child again as an example, if you're angry, it's because you don't want to feel the pain of the vase being broken. So you have to feel that pain. But you're trying to suppress the pain. So you get angry. And because you don't want to get angry at yourself, you take it out on the child and spank the child. There's a whole lot going on. Plus, that was a law of attraction event anyway. To expose what just happened. Your denied anger, that whole incident was for that reason. To show you what's within you, to get it out. And the thing is, if you didn't have that in you, the child would have never broken the vase. It would have never been broken. Because the law of attraction wouldn't have been able to bring you that experience, because that experience wasn't needed. I mean, you could have had your doorbell ring and a neighbor brought you some homemade chocolate chip cookies. That could have been your experience instead of a broken vase. But since it resides within the soul, that's what the law of attraction had to bring you. So everything's connected. Everything's connected. If you've listened to my videos long enough, you'll start to see that everything's connected. But if you listen to my video once, like if this is your first time, you're like, well, I don't believe that, then you won't see it. And you will forever be, well, not forever, but for a long time, you'll be governed by these cause and effect experiences that law of attraction brings you. That's just the way it is. So yeah, pain and suffering is based on a belief. So that means if your life is jacked up and you keep having jacked up experiences, it's because you hold on to a belief that's untrue. And so you have to be willing to open yourself. This is the thing about beliefs, is we already hold beliefs within us, which are we have emotions and beliefs within us. But these beliefs, in order to let them go and be open to new beliefs, you have to be uncertain for a while. And I had mentioned this to a friend yesterday. We believe things because we want to be certain about something. We have to be certain. It's just we want to know, and we want to know what's right. And that's normal. We want to know the right way to do things. There's nothing wrong with that. But in order to know what's right, the right way to do things, what is love, what is truth, in order to have hold these true beliefs, these loving beliefs, then we're going to have to be uncertain for a bit, because we're going to have to release what we believe in and toy around with another belief in order to see if the belief that we had was actually true or not. And so there's a moment of uncertainty that has to happen, and this is what people are really fearful of, not being certain. They want to be certain the bills are paid. They want to be certain that someone's going to be there. They want to be certain about all these different things. But you have to be uncertain. You have to be willing. I should say that. You have to be willing to be uncertain in order to let something else in. And use discernment. You let it in, like, okay, that feels right. It feels more right than the other belief that I had. So let me hold on to this for a little bit. I can always go back to the other one, but let me hold on to this for a bit. Let me be certain about this. And then you have to also be uncertain about what you just accepted as a belief. Again, because you're going to be presented with other information that's going to challenge the new belief that you just took on. And then you're going to have to be like, well, let me hold on to this for a while. The other one felt good, but this one feels much better. This one feels more right. And then you're going to have to be uncertain again. And again. And again. And again. And again. And again. And this is going to be your life. This is how you learn. By being uncertain. Just enough to hold on to something else that you don't yet hold. That's huge. Being uncertain is huge. The idea of it, oh my goodness. It will scare you. It's a very fearful place. Since our goal is to be certain about something, that's why we learn, right? We tend to learn about things because we want to be certain that this is the truth. But we don't keep going. We're like, oh yeah, that feels good. Yep. Majority of people believe that. Must be true. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna hang on to it. And you never let go. Not understanding that there are always higher truths. And there's always higher truths because the universe is set up in a way for constant expansion. Constant expansion. And so there always has to be a higher truth. And so one truth will explain and expose certain things. But then a higher truth will then explain that and so much more. And then a higher truth can explain so much more. It's like, Newton and his apple. I don't know if that actually happened. I don't know. But we start to see that things cannot remain in the air. They have to fall down. And we think, oh, well, maybe that's just here. And then we realize that the same thing happens in other places. But it doesn't happen somewhere else, on a different planet. So say the moon doesn't have a strong gravity pull as it does here. They're both true. They both have gravity. But the reasons why they don't share the same level of gravity is explained in the science of the reasons why. Because whatever the atmosphere or whatever it is, whatever causes gravity. I'm not saying I know about gravity. I'm just saying that there's always a higher truth to explain something. So, it's okay to hold on to something, hold on to a belief, but be uncertain and grab a hold to another one, and another one, and another one. And that's how you're going to constantly grow. Your life is going to be made up of this. I mean, at one time, a lot of people believed that Santa Claus was really real, and that Santa Claus was coming down the chimney and bringing presents. That was a truth for them at that point. But it wasn't. There's a higher truth to explain how the presents got there. Did the presents get there? Yes, that is a truth. How did they get there? Well, there's a truth about that. The parents. So that actually means that what the parents told them was untrue, which we know was untrue. But how the presents were getting there? The belief of how the presents were getting there. One of them was true, and one of them is not. That's the difference. We see our experiences. That's what people call personal truth. Their perception of what's happening. No, the experience that you had is fact. It happened. Why it happened is a belief. And this is what we have to learn to let go of in order to hold a higher, more accurate understanding, the truth. And then there's a bigger truth. But I'm not going to go into that. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful Tuesday. I hope it's great, and maybe I'll make a video tomorrow. Take care now. Bye.